Hi everyone, this is Nathalie. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. But before going anywhere or getting further into the revealing and the thoughts and the reviews and everything, just consider maybe subscribing to this channel. Give me some thumbs ups. So it's gonna make me so happy. And without further ado, let's start talking about Into the Water. Mother has been found dead into the river, sneaking around in a small city in England. I always want to say, I don't know, throughout the whole book I was sure that it was in the States, but it's in England. Her sister, her youngest sister, which hasn't spoken to her since years and years. She has to go back where she grew up to kind of identify the body of her sister and take care of her niece, which she doesn't have really any contact with. So you can imagine that their terms of the relationship are really not good. So she is just very surprised, the sister, Jules, that Nell killed herself. She's not convinced, and she thinks she thinks she's convinced that she has been killed, but the daughter, her niece, she thinks, and she kind of say that she knows that her mother killed herself. So you have kind of okay, so which one? So this is basically the main story. You don't have for that story an investigation, a classic investigation of the police or whatever, a detective, to unravel all the dark secrets, because they are a lot. You have the different pieces of that puzzle throughout all of those different characters that we are following every chapter. So it is being told through their mind, through what happened, what they think, what they experience, because it's what happened in the past before the death, what happened the day of the death, what happened after the death. You have a scene, but kind of told throughout the perspective of the different people inside that scene. But it is really good. It can be, I can imagine that it could be disturbing for some, but it's not. It is honestly not disturbing at all. It might be maybe one or two chapters that, until you're getting used, that you're not gonna be a story told at the third person. You have the inside of their mind or their feelings, their emotions, what they are not gonna say necessarily to someone, but you know, because the person is telling you, knowing if that mother Nell, she killed herself really, or did she was she pushed so someone killed her, but who and mostly why. She was obsessed by this river sneaking in the middle of the city, because throughout time and centuries, you can say, there was always, well, not dead people, dead women. Whether it was surrounding witchcraft, that some were suspected or suspected of a witchcraft, trial by water. If you are drowning, it means that you are a witch, I think, but if you are not drowning, so you're not, and that's how I think that's how it worked. Anyway, it's the stupid, silly, crazy, nonsense, irresponsible, disgusting, unfair, and whatever you want to call it, judgments and trial by men and religious people from the past. And but you have sometimes women who really kill themselves, and others it's the classic murder when you just found the body in the river. So Nell, the character who's dead at the beginning of the story, she is obsessed since she was a kid at knowing all of those different deaths of those women, and she's working on a project to write a book and telling all the different stories. So whether she's kind of improving a little bit what happened or just saying blank, what was it? But at the same time, a lot of people don't like that idea. don't like what she's doing. It is disturbing because there are a lot of dark secrets that they don't want her to find and to tell, and because for many people it's the past of the past, and whatever happened, they don't care. They don't give a S word of what really happened, and yes, you just have, they just want to forget. But Nell keeps coming back, asking questions, and she doesn't want to let go. So you kind of have an idea that it's gonna be surrounding one of those deaths. But at the same time, you have the death of Katie, which was the best friend of her daughter, Lena, who died a few months before. No one suspected that she could be suicidal. Obviously, it's always what happened. Her friend Lena and her mother, they knows the truth. They know what really happened, but they are not saying anything to anyone. But since, like I told you, you follow the different characters, so you can accept the dead one, so you can understand and you're gonna get what really happened, and the death, it is entangled somehow with the death of Nell and what's going to happen. A slow, fast pace, if it kind of makes sense. You really want to know what happened, and since you have the different perspective for the story, you want to know with this one, with that one, what happened, what's in their mind, how crazy maybe they can be, how disturbing what they are hiding. And it is a different way of telling a story until you really come to the end, and so it's clear in your mind that it's spoiler, it's not gonna be anything about witchcraft. But when you really gonna understand what happened, it's like, oh wow. Until the whole reading, it was 4.5 stars. I really did enjoy, but it was like, okay, yeah, it's really good, until the very last words, the very last sentence. Like really, the last sentence, I read it and I was like, hold on, I have to read it again. I think I read something, but I'm not sure. Let me read it again. You read and you're like, oh, boom, 5 stars. Damn, that was good. Once again, Paula Hawkins, even if I didn't read The Girl on the Train, I watched the adaptation and it's fully enough for me. But I really enjoy, like, and appreciate the logic, the mentality, everything behind the plot. Maybe some trigger warnings that we are dealing a lot, kind of obviously, with suicide thoughts, with depression, with rape, with physical abuse, with age abuse, if you want that way. So if this is something that it's not for you, maybe stay away from it. I don't feel that it was excessive, because it could have been, or it could be trigger for me, but it wasn't. So good. Once again, it's so satisfying when you can find an author, or more specifically a storybook, when you have a plot so good you don't have anything to say. Not that you want to find something, a weakness, but it's just bam, perfect from the beginning to the end. And yeah, that's really, really good. So if you haven't understand through all of my expression on my face and my excitement, Into the Water by Paula Hawkins, 5 stars. I strongly recommend you to try to read, or more to try, just to do it. So until the next time that I'm gonna tell you more about another reading in detail, have some lovely time.